Hey Bales, my name is Simon and today I want to show you an asset I have been cooking up during the past few days. It is a way to use the events from Spine Animations in GameMaker Studio. The asset is available from the GameMaker Marketplace and from my Gumroad. Links in the description. The purpose of this video is to show you how to use the asset. You can see a simple usage right here. In my animation, an event is triggered every time his feet connect with the ground. This can for example be used to emit stepping sounds as he is running. For right now I have simply set it up to spit out messages in the compile form. Timing things like this is a hassle if you need to do it manually, but events make it super easy. I think it was a really weird thing for yo-yo games to leave out of the runtime. Don't get me wrong, you can already do a lot of cool stuff when using Spine with GameMaker Studio, but for some reason or another, GameMaker currently doesn't supply us with any functions to access Spine's events. I'm pushing for the addition in one of the next updates, but until then, if ever, this workaround has to do. Let me quickly explain how events work. Events can be keyed into animations from inside Spine, which alone makes them extremely powerful, as you can use this to time audio cues or projectiles. But furthermore, events can contain data, which is stored in these three parameters. One for integer values, one for float values, and one for strings. Every time you key an event to happen, you can set these values, and then the idea is to use this actively in your code. What I have made allows you to tap into this potential. Let's get to it. What I have for you is merely a couple of easy to use scripts. The first one is just flair. The first real one is an initiation script. This script is simply for creating the DS map, which we will fill up with skeletal data to read events off of. When you want to destroy this map again, you can use the freeing script at the end. The general idea is to initiate the system once at the very beginning of the game, though you can initiate and free up throughout the game if you can keep track of that. In this example, I'm just initiating the system in the test object's create event. The next script is used after the initiation and is for filling up the DS map. Here link up your sprite indexes with an extra copy of the JSON files, since we don't have direct access to the files loaded into GameMaker as sprites. Here the first argument is simply the sprite index of the sprite, and the second is the path to the JSON in your included files. Luckily JSON files are just text and should not take up too much space, and you do not need to add the atlas nor image files, since they're not needed for this to work. As the JSON files are added to the map, most unnecessary data is automatically deleted from them to keep the DS map small in size. After setting up the system, you get to the last script, which is the one you use to listen for the events. The one and only argument you supply here is the name of the event you want to listen for, and then, if the event has not been triggered, it will return the value of 0. If, however, the event has been triggered, then the script will return an array with 4 indexes. If you don't need the data from the event, then you can just use isArray to test if the event was happening. If you do need the extra data, then you want the content of the array. Index 0 of the array contains the integer value, index 1 the float value, and index 2 contains the string value. The last index takes a little more explaining. Even if an animation doesn't land directly on a keyed event, the event will still be triggered when it goes past it. Like, the event may be on frame 5, where the image index is currently 4. With a standard image speed of 1, we should hit the event next step. But what if the image speed is 2? Then we don't exactly hit the event, yet the event will still trigger. The last index of the returned array contains the difference between the current image index and the index the event is really on. You can use this if correct timing is important in your game. However, the return value is in seconds, not in image indexes, since Spine's animations calculate the durations in seconds. However, it can easily be converted if need be. Simply divide by the current animation's duration in seconds, then multiply by the image number. Pretty easy. This is really all there is to it. But just for good measure, I want to show you one place I will use the system myself. In my current project, Tale of Omni, a huge boss worm appears, and one of its attacks is spitting out its teeth. Events makes it much easier for me to time the spits, and on top of that, I can use the float value to tell GameMaker which direction the teeth should move. Hope you found this video valuable, and if so, please show by giving it a thumb up. I also want to ask you to leave a review if you get the system from the GameMaker Marketplace. Until next time, bye!